Alright, you guys, to start off this look, I'm going to be using my LA Girl Pro Primer in the shade Nude, and I'm just going to apply this all over my lid and blend this out using a foundation brush. This is a new brush set that I got from Royal and Lanico. Alright, as my first eyeshadow, I'm going to be using Cocoa Bear from Makeup Geek Cosmetics, and I'm using a synthetic blending brush to apply this into my transition area, and I'm just going to blend that out as much as I can and smoke it out real good. Once I have that blended in properly, I'm going to go in with a slightly smaller blending brush, and I'm going to use the shade Bitten, also by Makeup Geek Cosmetics, and I'm going to apply this into my crease, blending it into my transition area with Cocoa Bear. I'm also going to go back in with the first blending brush, blend it out again to make sure it's nice and smooth. I'm going to go in with this pigment from Sugar Pill Cosmetics, and I'm going to use my Alley Splash Sealer to apply to my lid to help make this pigment stick with all its beautiful glittery goodness. It's called Countess. It's such a gorgeous color, you guys. It's like a burgundy type color, really pretty. Okay, I'm going to pat that onto my lid, then I'm going to go back in with the small blending brush and use some of the Makeup Geek Bitten eyeshadow and blend this out into my crease area. Now going in with this glitter from Violet Voss is called the Fair. It's kind of like a tri-color glitter, more than tri. It has a whole bunch of different colors. I'm going to pat that onto my lid, and I'm using a glitter sealer to apply that. Then I'm going to go in with Sugar Pill's Goldilocks pigment and apply this to my brow bone area using a shader brush, and I'm also going to apply some of this to my tear duct area just to highlight it and give it some pop and just blend it in slightly with my lid color. For wing liner, I'm using my NYC liquid liner. And what I'm going to do is, usually when I do my liner like this, I fill it in with the liner, but I'm going to leave a little space, and that's where I'm going to put my gold line to create like a two-dimensional or three-dimensional, I think it will be three-dimensional wing liner. So it has like a little extra, you know, dimension there instead of just a straight black line. So I'm using the Goldilocks pigment from Sugar Pill to create a liner, and I mixed it in with some mixing medium. The e.l.f. Lock and Seal will do it for you. Then I'm going to go in with my Inglot gel liner, and I'm using a small liner brush to create my inner wing. Okay, I also applied some gold pigment there just to make it a bit easier for me to have that gold inside of that wing, and I'm just going to go over that little gold again just to make it a little bit brighter, and I'm mixing that pigment again with the e.l.f. Lock and Seal to create my own gold liner. I'm just going to go back in with the liner brush that I use for the Inglot gel liner, and I'm just going to clean up my line just to make sure it's nice and smooth and even. I'm thinking the most difficult part of this look is the wing liner, but if you take your time, you guys, you can definitely do it. It wasn't the easiest for me, so I'm just going to let you know right away, okay? As you guys can see, I'm going in and out with different colors, you know, the black gel liner and the gold liner that I created just to make sure that the line is nice and clean. Then I'm going to add some concealer under my eye area and blend it out. And I'm going to go in with my LA Girl Glide Gel Liner, and I'm just going to apply this into my waterline and also blend it into my lash line to give it that smudgy look. Now I'm going to go in with some of that Cocoa Bear shadow from Makeup Geek, and I'm just going to smoke this out under my lower lashes. Then I'm going to go in with the shade Bitten, which is the red tone brick shade. Layer that up so that it has a nice smoky look. Now I'm going to go in with this black eyeshadow from Wet n Wild. It's just a single eyeshadow, and I'm just going to smudge that into that black liner to give it a more smoky look. And I'm going to go in with my roller lash mascara from Benefit and apply this to the top and bottom lashes. You don't have to put on fake lashes if you don't want to, but I'm gonna add them. As you guys can see, I'm using some concealer just to clean up my liner. Then I'm gonna pop on these gorgeous lashes from Ardell. These are the 206. I usually get them from Sally's, and if you're lucky, you can get them, you know, on sale where you could buy one get one free, or buy one get one 50% off or something like that. All right, so once I have those on, right, I'm just gonna make sure they're nice and in place, and that is it for the eyes, you guys. I hope you like it. So now we're just gonna move on to the face. Alright you guys, now I'm going to go in with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer, and I'm just going to go ahead and apply that all over my face. It makes your skin feel so silky and smooth, you guys, and I'm so surprised I did not experience like a whole bunch of breakouts with it, so it's definitely going to become one of my favorites. Now I'm going to use the Smashbox Studio Skin in the shade 4.0, and I'm just going to use this as a base color since it's a little bit too light for me right now, and I'm just going to blend it out using this synthetic foundation brush. I don't know if they call it a foundation brush, but it's from e.l.f. and it's about $3 for the brush. I got it from Walmart, and I'm just going to go ahead and blend this out. Now I'm going to go in with my Maybelline Matte Poreless in the shade 340, which is a better match for my skin, and I'm just going to go over that Studio Skin foundation from Smashbox and just blend that out, and it will give me a nice, beautiful coverage. Now using the Motives Color Correcting Quad, I absolutely love how creamy the formula is. I'm going to use the orange shade to color correct around my mouth area where I have hyperpigmentation and discoloration. You can use the orange shade on blemishes that are like, you know, dark or discolored on your face. So you could definitely do that before the foundation, after foundation, and then go back over it with more foundation for a more full coverage look. Now I'm going to use my LA Girl Pro HD Concealer in the shade Fawn and apply this right under my eye to create my highlighter. And I'm just putting this in a triangular kind of feather shape. I'm also going to highlight my chin area. You can highlight any parts of the face that you like. Well, not any parts, but hey, if that's what you're going for, just highlight the face, go ahead and do it. Okay, but I'm going to go in and blend out my under eye concealer with my foundation brush from Royal and Lanico. And I'm just going to blend that out using a patting motion instead of like a sweeping motion, which can drag the product and create streaks. When you use a patting motion, you get more of a airbrushed look, okay? If you want, you can go over that with a beauty blender. Alright you guys, once I have that nice and blended out, I'm going to go in with my Natural Finish Foundation from Cover FX in the shade N100, I believe it is. It's a beautiful dark shade, and I'm going to use this to contour my face. Okay. I'm going to give myself a nice cream contour which looks absolutely natural and pretty, and I'm using this angled synthetic brush also from Royal and Lanico. I promise you guys this is not a sponsored video for Royal and Lanico. It's just a brush set that I got when I went to the Gen Beauty blogger cocktail party, and it was one in one of our swag bags. So I'm going to use that, contour my face, and bring the shapes back to my face. Once I have that nice and blended out, I'm going to go back in with my foundation brush just to blend it out just a bit more so everything looks nice and smooth and there's no harsh lines or anything or like chunky spots. Alright, and then I'm going to go in with my L'Oreal Pro Matte Powder in the shade Cocoa. This is my favorite contouring powder. I'm going to use that same angle brush just to deepen my contour and make it more defined and just darken it up a bit more so my face look a bit more chiseled, okay? Alright you guys, I'm going to add some extra contour around my hairline area because I did my roots a few weeks ago. It kind of dyed my baby hairs, so everything is blonde and looks like I have no baby hairs whatsoever. So I'm just going to contour that area so my forehead doesn't look so gigantic. Now I'm going to go in with that same angle brush and contour my nose area just to redefine it because, you know, applying foundation to your nose area sometimes takes away the shape of your nose. So I'm just going to use the contour brush and powder to reshape my nose and give it more of a defined look. Alright you guys, I'm going to use my foundation brush just to blend out the sides of my nose so I don't have like a sharp line. Then I'm going to go in with this blush from Wet n Wild and blend this out on my cheeks. I'll put the name of the blush down below in the description box, but it is one of their newer formulas. Then I'm going to go in with this gorgeous highlight from Ofra Cosmetics. This one, I believe it is called Rodeo Drive. Okay, and I'm just going to highlight my cheeks with that. Then I'm going to go in with the Goldilocks pigment from Sugar Pill to add that on top of that highlight so I can have that extra pop. You can always use your fingers to blend out the edge of your highlight if you feel as though that it looks like it has a cast, or it's chunky, or it's not smooth looking. So use your finger to blend it out so it has that nice smooth look, so it doesn't look off, Alright, once I have my cheeks highlighted, I'm going to go and highlight my tip of my nose, the bridge part of my nose, and my cupid's bow area, because I want the top of my cupid's bow area to be super gold so it pops when I apply my lip color, okay? Alright, you guys, now using the LA Splash liquid lipstick in the shades Mistress. It's a beautiful deep shade. It's almost like a Merlot shade. And I'm just going to go ahead and apply this to my lips. It's one of my favorite colors from LA Splash, especially around this time of year where dark lips are coming back into style. Alright, and I'm just going to go ahead and apply that onto my lips, and you'll see how pretty it looks against that gold highlight above my lips. It's gonna just make it pop. Alright, you guys, so just take your time and put on your liquid lipstick. You don't want to do this, fast, like lip gloss or lipstick or anything like that. You want to take your time, because once it gets on your foundation, it can definitely ruin your foundation. Now I'm going to go back in with some of my Maybelline Fit Me foundation in the shade 340, and I'm just going to use the foundation to clean up around my mouth area to make sure my lip stick or lip color looks a bit more sharp. Set that with a bit of powder. I'm also going to add a bit more of that Goldilocks to the bridge part of my nose area and just blend it out with my finger. Okay, this is a very dramatic look, so we don't have to be like super subtle. It's not a natural look, it's not an everyday look at all. Alright, I'm just going to go in and blend out my jawline area just a bit more, just to darken it up just a bit more. Then I'm going to start fixing up this wig of mine. Alright, and just create some type of a loose but yet controlled looking style. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but I did like the loose look of it. The headpiece, I got it from a store called Claire's or Cares. I think it's Claire's. I think it was about $12.99. I'm not sure, but I got it for like 50% off. Alright, and that is your final look. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. If you did, make sure you subscribe to my channel, like this video, give it a thumbs up, and comment down below. I love you guys, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.